The hallway is empty when Ali steps out of the elevator. 2:47 a.m. The Sands Hotel, 12th floor. The kind of quiet that only exists after midnight, in a building full of people who drank too much and celebrated too hard and finally collapsed into sleep. His hand is wrapped, ice pack pressed against his ribs, white terry cloth robe over his shoulders, still sweating through the fabric. The adrenaline hasn't left his body yet. Probably won't for hours. He won. Knocked Patterson down in the 12th round. Made him quit on his stool between rounds. Made the former champion refuse to come out for the 13th. Made him surrender. Ali should feel triumphant. Should feel like the greatest. Should feel exactly the way he's been telling the world he is. But standing in this empty hallway, he feels something else. Something that's been growing since the moment Patterson's corner threw in the towel. Since the moment Ali saw Patterson's face. Not the face of a beaten fighter. The face of a man who'd been destroyed in front of the world. Ali stops at room 1214. Doesn't knock immediately. Just stands there, listening. Nothing. No sound from inside. No television. No voices. Just silence. His hand hovers near the door. Part of him knows he should walk away. Go back downstairs. Celebrate with his people. Let this moment pass. Let Patterson have his privacy, his dignity, what's left of it. But Ali can't walk away. Because he knows what he did in that ring wasn't just boxing. It was something else. Something that's been eating at him since the 8th round, since he realized he could have ended it earlier but chose not to. Chose to keep hitting, keep talking, keep making Patterson suffer. Uncle Tom, he'd called him. White man's champion. Rabbit. Words designed to cut deeper than any punch. And they did. Ali saw it in Patterson's eyes. Saw the humiliation. Not from losing. From being publicly stripped of every shred of dignity a man could have. In front of millions. On national television. By someone half his age who refused to even call him by his chosen name. Ali knocks. 3 soft taps. Waits. Nothing. He knocks again. Harder this time. Floyd. His voice sounds different in the empty hallway. Smaller. Not the voice that filled the ring. Not the voice that taunted and proclaimed and prophesied. Just a man's voice. Floyd. It's Muhammad. Silence. Then from inside, doors open. Ali pushes it open slowly. The room is dark. Just one lamp on in the corner, casting long shadows across the walls. Floyd Patterson sits in a chair by the window, still in his trunks and boots, hasn't showered, hasn't changed, just sitting, staring out at the neon lights of Las Vegas, bleeding into the desert night. His face is swollen, left eye nearly closed, lips split, the kind of damage that takes weeks to heal. But the real damage isn't visible. Ali can see it anyway. Patterson doesn't turn around. Come to finish the job? His voice is flat, hollow. No anger in it. No fight. Just exhaustion. Ali closes the door behind him. Steps into the room. Doesn't know what to say. All the words he's so good at, all the poetry and proclamations and predictions, they're gone now. Don't work here. Don't mean anything in this dark room with this broken man who won't even look at him. I came to see if you're all right. Patterson laughs. Sharp. Bitter. Do I look all right to you? Ali doesn't answer. Patterson finally turns. Looks at him with that one good eye. You happy now? You proved your point. Proved I'm everything you said I was. Uncle Tom. White man's champion. Coward who wouldn't stand up for his people. You made sure everybody knows it. Floyd. Don't. Patterson's hand comes up, stops him. Don't tell me it was just promotion. Don't tell me it was just to sell tickets. I know what it was. Ali stands there. Can't argue. Won't argue. Because Patterson's right. It wasn't just promotion. It was punishment. Punishment for representing everything Ali despised. For being safe. For being acceptable. For changing his name back from Muhammad to Cassius because white America was more comfortable with Cassius. For bowing. Ali wanted to destroy that. Wanted to prove that bowing doesn't save you, doesn't protect you, just makes you a target for men who refuse to bow. And he did destroy it. Destroyed it completely. But standing here now, looking at what's left, Ali feels something he hasn't felt in a long time. Shame. Patterson turns back to the window. You know what the worst part is? Ali waits. My kids watched that fight. My daughter. She's 8 years old. She watched her father get beaten down while you called him names. Called him a coward. Called him a disgrace to his race. Patterson's voice cracks. How do I explain that to her? How do I tell her that her father isn't what that man in the ring said he was? The silence that follows is suffocating. Ali can hear his own breathing, can hear the faint hum of the air conditioner, can hear the city outside, still alive, still celebrating, completely unaware of this moment. He moves closer, pulls a chair from the small table, sits down, not too close, respects the distance. I don't know if I was right. Patterson doesn't react. I don't know if I was right about what I said, about calling you those things, about making it personal. But you meant it. Yeah, Ali doesn't lie. I meant it. I thought I was right. Thought you represented everything holding us back, every Negro who played it safe, who tried to be acceptable to white people instead of being himself. And now? Ali takes a breath. Now I'm sitting here looking at a man I respected enough to want to fight, looking at a man who gave everything he had in that ring tonight, looking at a father worried about what his daughter thinks of him. He pauses. Looking at a man I hurt worse than I needed to. Patterson's shoulders shift. Slight movement, like something heavy is settling. You could have stopped it in the 6th round. I know. But you wanted to make it last. Wanted to punish me. Yeah. Why? The question hangs there. Ali doesn't have a good answer. Not one that makes sense now. All the reasons that seemed so righteous in training camp, all the justifications that fueled his anger, they feel empty now. Because I could, Ali finally says. Because I had the power to hurt you, and I used it. Because I confused being right about something with being righteous about everything. Patterson turns, looks at him again. That's the first honest thing you've said to me in 6 months. Ali nods. They sit in silence. Outside, a siren wails, distant, moving away. I tried, Patterson says quietly. People think I didn't stand up, think I just went along. But I tried, in my own way, donated money, spoke at events, helped kids in Harlem, did it quietly because that's who I am. I know. No, you don't. Patterson's voice hardens. You think there's only one way to fight, one way to be a man, one way to stand up for your people, loud, public, in everyone's face. He looks directly at Ali. But some of us don't have that luxury. Some of us came from nothing, real nothing, orphanages, group homes, violence. We clawed our way up and we're trying not to fall back down. We're trying to keep doors open for the kids coming after us. By being acceptable? By surviving? Patterson's jaw tightens. You want to change the world? Fine. Beautiful. I respect it. But don't tell me survival isn't also a fight. Don't tell me trying to make a better life for my family makes me a coward. Ali absorbs this. Feels the weight of it. All the things he never considered, never wanted to consider, because considering them would complicate the narrative, would make Patterson human instead of symbol, would make this fight about two different kinds of courage instead of courage versus cowardice. You're right, Ali says. Patterson seems surprised. I'm serious. You're right. I made you into something you're not, because it was easier to fight a symbol than a man. Ali leans forward. But Floyd, you have to understand something too. I can't be you. Can't be quiet. Can't be acceptable. Because every time one of us tries to be acceptable, we're accepting that who we really are isn't good enough. And every time one of us is too loud, Patterson counters, we make it harder for the next man who just wants to work and provide for his family without being a symbol for anything. They look at each other. Two men who took different paths from the same starting point. Both suffering now. One from public humiliation. One from private guilt. Ali stands, walks to the window, looks out at the same view Patterson has been staring at. My mother called me after the weigh-in yesterday, Ali says. Told me to be kind. Told me Floyd Patterson is a good man, and I should respect him even if I disagree with him. What did you say? I told her I was fighting for something bigger than kindness. Patterson's reflection appears in the window beside Ali's. Were you? Ali doesn't answer immediately. Down below, a couple stumbles out of the casino. Drunk, laughing, holding each other up. The world keeps spinning. People keep living. None of them know or care about this conversation. I thought I was, Ali finally says. Now I don't know. Maybe I was just fighting to prove I was right. Maybe that's all any of us are ever doing. Patterson moves to stand beside him. You were right about some things. I did play it safe. I did care too much about what white people thought of me. I did change my name back because it was easier. He touches his swollen face. But you were wrong too. Wrong to think humiliating me would help anyone. Wrong to think there's only one way to be a proud black man in America. Ali nods slowly. I'm going to carry tonight for a long time. Patterson continues. Not the loss. I can handle losing. But the other part. The part where you made me feel less than human in front of millions of people. That part doesn't heal. The words hit Ali harder than he expects. Because he knows they're true. Knows he can't take them back. Knows no apology will undo what he did. I'm sorry. Ali's voice is barely above a whisper. I'm sorry I did that to you. I'm sorry I made your daughter watch that. I'm sorry I confused fighting for what I believe in with destroying who you are. Patterson is quiet for a long moment. You know what's funny? He finally says. I still agree with you. About the name. About standing up. About refusing to be what they want us to be. He looks at Ali. I just think there's room for more than one way to do it. Room for the loud ones and the quiet ones. Room for the fighters who talk and the fighters who just fight. Is there room for us? Ali asks. After tonight? Patterson considers this. I don't know. Ask me in a year. Ask me when my face heals and my pride heals and I figure out how to explain this to my daughter. What will you tell her? The truth. That her father fought a great fighter and lost. That losing doesn't make you less. That being called names by someone doesn't make those names true. He pauses. And that even great men make mistakes. Even men who change the world can be cruel. Even revolution can go too far. Ali feels those words settle into him. Knows he'll carry them too. Different burden than Patterson's, but a burden nonetheless. I meant what I said, Ali says. You're a good fighter, a great champion. What I said about you being a coward, about you not standing up, that was wrong. Patterson almost smiles. Almost. But you won't say that publicly. No. Because it would undermine your message. Because I'm not ready to admit I don't know if I was right about everything, just about how I treated you. Patterson nods. Understands. At least you're honest about that. They stand there for another minute. Two men who will never be friends. Will never see eye to eye. But who understand each other in a way that only exists between people who've shared something too intense for words. Ali walks to the door. Hand on the handle. Floyd? Yeah? For what it's worth, and I know it might not be worth much right now, you earned my respect tonight. Not because of how you fought, because of how you're handling this. Most men would have cursed me out, thrown me out of this room. I thought about it. Why didn't you? Patterson looks at him. Because I'm not you. I don't need to destroy people to prove I'm strong. The words aren't said with malice. Just fact. Ali nods. That's the difference between us. One of many. Ali opens the door. The hallway light spills in. Take care of yourself, Floyd. You too, Muhammad. It's the first time Patterson has called him that. Ali pauses. You mean that? Your name is your name. I don't have to agree with why you changed it, to respect what you call yourself. Ali stands in the doorway for a moment longer. I hope your daughter knows she has a good father. I hope she does too. Ali steps out. The door closes behind him. The hallway is still empty, still quiet. He walks to the elevator, pushes the button, waits. Behind him, room 1214 is silent again. Inside, Floyd Patterson returns to his chair by the window, returns to staring at the city that watched him lose everything tonight, returns to the work of rebuilding what was destroyed. The elevator arrives. Ali steps in, looks at his reflection in the polished brass doors as they close. He looks the same, but something has shifted, something he won't fully understand for years. The realization that winning isn't always victory, that power without wisdom is just cruelty, that changing the world requires more than just being right. It requires being human. The elevator descends, takes him back to the ground floor, back to the celebration, back to the people who want to congratulate him, want to tell him he's the greatest. And he is the greatest. But tonight, for the first time, he wonders what that title actually costs. Not just him, everyone around him. 20 years later, in 1985, Ali will be asked about that fight, about the things he said, about the way he treated Floyd Patterson. He'll say, I was young, I was angry, I thought being right gave me permission to be cruel. Then he'll pause. I don't know if I was right about that. The interviewer will ask if he regrets it. Ali will think for a long time. I regret that I hurt a good man to make a point. I regret that his daughter had to see that. I regret that I confused fighting for justice with punishing everyone who didn't fight the way I thought they should. Do you think he forgave you? I don't know. Never asked. Some things you don't get to know. Some consequences you just carry. The interview will move on to other topics. But later, when the cameras are off, Ali will say something to his assistant. Floyd Patterson taught me something that night. Taught me that you can win a fight and lose something more important. Taught me that dignity isn't about being the loudest or the strongest. It's about how you treat people when you have all the power and they have none. Did you ever tell him that? No. Some things you learn too late to make a difference. Floyd Patterson will live until 2006. He'll never speak publicly about that night in room 1214. Never confirm it happened. Never deny it. When asked about the Ali fight, he'll say only this. Muhammad Ali was a great fighter, one of the greatest. We had our disagreements, but I understood what he was fighting for, and I think eventually he understood what I was fighting for too. Do you hold any anger toward him? No. Anger is a weight. I put it down a long time ago. Did he ever apologize? Patterson will smile slightly. Some conversations are private. Some moments belong only to the people who live them. Both men will carry that night differently. Ali will carry the guilt of realizing too late that cruelty in service of a cause is still cruelty. Patterson will carry the knowledge that survival is its own kind of courage, even when the loud voices call it cowardice. And somewhere between those two truths, between revolution and survival, between courage and wisdom, between fighting the world and protecting your family, lies the complicated reality of being a black man in America, trying to be himself, trying to be enough, trying to raise children who won't have to make the same impossible choices. The fight lasted 12 rounds. The consequences lasted a lifetime. And in a dark hotel room at 2:47 a.m., two men who would never be friends found a moment of understanding that neither of them would ever fully articulate, but both would carry until the day they died. Because some lessons can't be taught. They can only be lived. And some wounds can't be healed. They can only be understood. And sometimes, that has to be enough. When you had all the power, did you use it to prove you were right, or to protect someone else's dignity?